Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. This past weekend, Husker football head coach Matt Rule spoke to the media prior to the 1890 open practice. Rule spoke about a couple of different topics, including how it's nice to practice and be evaluated in front of a crowd.
Yeah, probably evaluation, but even more so teaching. I had a really good young player the other day, and I said, how'd that period go? He said, I learned. He said, it's my first time doing it, I learned. For me, part of the teaching process of getting, a young team, we have some older veteran leadership, but we have some young players, getting them to understand that, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Steph Curry, they don't change their shot. They don't think about their shot, and they don't change their shot in the final seconds. They do what they do. So with thousands of people out there, we've got to go do what we do. And so if some people don't do that, it's not like we push them down. We're just going to go back and teach them. And training camp's a period of highs and lows, man. Some days you're really tight, some days you're beat up, but you go out there anyway. So we look at the aggregate, and really next Saturday the scrimmage will be probably a really important day. But I do think having the crowd and seeing where we are in that regard will be awesome. If someone scores a touchdown and does the Rod Tidwell and takes off their pads and starts dancing, I'm going to be upset. So hopefully we can stay in the moment.
More from Coach Rule in just a little bit. The 2024-25 season kicks off tonight for the Nebraska soccer team as they host Kansas City for an exhibition at Hibner Stadium. Kickoff is scheduled for 7:05 and admission is free. Earlier today, the Big Ten Network announced their upcoming volleyball TV schedule, and Nebraska is featured on BTN, FS1, and NBC a total of 17 times, including 14 of their 20 conference matchups. Matchups with Creighton, Stanford, Oregon, and Wisconsin will all be on the Big Ten Network. For more information, head to Huskers.com. Plenty of Olympics news and notes for today. The U.S. men's volleyball team defeated Brazil in 4 sets to advance to the semifinals. In women's gymnastics, Simone Biles earned the silver medal on the floor today, while Jordan Childs earned bronze. And finally, the U.S. women's 3-on-3 team won the bronze medal today with a 16-13 win over Canada. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Hour 1 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium. It's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Heinrich gonna step in back, little G belly action. There's a man wide open. It's Jalen Lloyd. The throw, he makes a catch. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Nebraska's serving specialist Kennedy sends it over Vasquez Gomez. Perfect pass, set it up. Fairbanks diving, take Laney Choboy. Bumps it left Nebraska. Harper and nearly drops. Free ball back. Oh, a block back by Becca, and that nearly drops. And a free ball finally over block back by Becca, and it does. Becca Alec, she's putting on a blocking clinic. They can't get it over.
Bryce Williams puts his head down, cut off by good defense by Mbako. Now up top it comes to Mast. Mast dribbles once, gives it back to Williams, shoots a 3 on the way. Got it again! Another 3. Williams on fire.
Jazz Shelley, who has electrified this crowd. She'll take a 28-footer. You betcha! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She ends the first quarter in triple style.
Ball's at a strike here on Gabe Swanson, the pitch. Hit pretty well towards left center field. Going back on it is Graves. Graves at the wall, and it's gone again! Swanson's gone deep again! Gabe with his second solo shot of the game.
Billy swings and crushes this one to the moon. Left center and gone. No doubt on that one. 3-1 Nebraska.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Here we are back with another hot show for you on a Monday night. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Huskers had a little open practice for the 1890 practice on Saturday night. And about 3,500 people were out there. Some of the pictures, and Jess, you were there, but some of the pictures I saw, I thought there was a few more than that. But what were your impressions of the night?
Yeah, I think they were pretty pleased with the turnout and ended up being more than what they expected. They had closed the ticket sales on Friday night and then, due to the demand, reopened them back up on Saturday. And it was a pretty good crowd out there for the first time. And again, just a evening practice and a little hot. But almost the whole bottom part of that side of the stadium was pretty full. So I thought it was a good turnout, and they wanted to put on a little bit of a show. So they, wanted to interview coaches throughout, and DJ D-Wade was there. D-Wayne was there, and so he was hyping up the crowd, and it was a good time. And I think what was great about it too is it was a legitimate practice. While you didn't see a lot of the plays that they're going to run or any of that, there was one time that coach stopped practice, and he had a live mic on as well and said, we're walking too much, so we're going to run. And so the crowd cheered, and then D-Wayne was hyping them up like, all right, let's give it up for them while they're running their gassers on the side from side to side. But, he stopped it. Hey, we're going to do things right out here, and we're going to have consequences if we're not doing things right, even if there is a crowd out here. So, and I think you saw some flashes of some of the players that are going to be big-time playmakers. You and I chatted earlier off air about, Ja'Cory Barney is the real deal. He continues to show flashes. Jamal Banks, I think, is just going to be absolutely incredible for this team this year. And then, I think, gosh, who was it? Mekhi Bayer looked good to me as well. I didn't get a chance to just completely go all in because I was running around a little bit, but you definitely saw some flashes, and I thought it was a great experience for fans to get to take in. Hey, this is actually how we do things, and when we're not doing things right, we're going to let them know about it. But I thought it was a great night overall.
I kind of call football practices in general kind of controlled chaos. You're like, well, how do they know when the whistle blows or the horn sounds to go over there or over here? Well, they do. They learn all that. But as a fan, to me, it's fascinating to watch how they move from station to station and do all that. So I'm glad a lot of people, and maybe most of the people that have been there have gone to practice before. I doubt it, but I'm sure they enjoyed just watching. They're like little ants just kind of making their way around the football field and doing those type of things. Then I know they had some fun trying to have some coaches and linemen catch some punts at the end of the practice. That's always kind of fun, seeing if a big guy or one of the coaches can. It's way harder than you think trying to grab a punt when they're hit so high up in the air, and you get the backdrop of a huge stadium to try to make that. I mean, it makes you appreciate punt returners even more when you try to get out there and do that. So I thought it was really good. I'm sure the players, Jess, enjoyed it because it kind of broke up the monotony of just another day out on the practice fields. They actually had people watching, and we all want to perform. We all want to show well in front of fans. So I'm sure it was good for the players. Yeah, absolutely. And, again, in this trend of, NIL and where we are with college athletics and college sports and football teams and being able to generate that revenue. I mean, here is another way that I was asking a few people around on the sideline, is there anybody else doing something like this fall? And I guess maybe Minnesota did something in the spring, but not anywhere close to this level of what was being done. And so, the kind of a first for Nebraska sports to be able to do this. And hey, what are some ideas that we can do to be able to generate some more revenue, to be able to provide these NIL opportunities, but also involve the fans. And so I know Coach Rule was all about it and was embracing it. And hey, what can we do? And how can we make this as fan-friendly as possible for a practice? And he was pretty pumped to start. And he wasn't even scheduled to do this. This was not part of the plan. But right before he came out, the team came out, he said, well, should I go maybe take some pictures with some fans? And they're like, sure. So he stood down there in the end zone, and there was a line, and he took photos until the line was done to start practice. And so, I think he realizes the importance of that and wanted to be able to provide something. But nowhere else in the country is embracing doing something like this. And so, again, it's cool to see Nebraska be ahead of the trend, and what are ways we can do to be able to balance both, hey, here's a fun thing for fans to do, but and some exclusivity to it, and then also provide a unique opportunity to see a practice that just does not happen really many places across the country. Well, as Coach Rural said, we asked so much out of 1890. Hey, we need to do this. We need to get this for this player. We need to come up with this for this player. He goes, it's the least we can do. If they say, Coach, can you throw the gates open for a practice and let us charge some money to make some money to help your program? He goes, it's the least we can do to say, yeah, let's do that. He goes, football coaches don't like to reveal themselves before the start of a season. So this, I'm sure, made Coach a little uncomfortable to do this in August because, media were there. We saw all kinds of media blogs come out. In fact, Coach Rural jokingly told the media at his presser before the event, we're going to hear some clips of that here in a few minutes. He goes, you guys are going to have stuff to talk about on your podcast for all week. He goes, you're going to learn a lot about our football team just being out here for the next couple of hours watching our team. But you're right, in this new age and new era, this is not going to be the last that it happens here, and you're going to hear about it happening more and more around the country. But I also think it shows 1890 is a little bit cutting edge, as you said, and that's a comforting feeling as a Husker that the collective here is thinking a little outside the box to come up with some ways to raise revenue to not only help football, they certainly help a myriad of sports at the university right now.
How much do you think, too, the Coach Rule's willingness and openness to it? Also, he was in the NFL. Hey, there's open practices in the NFL
Every
often,
day.
right?
Every
just
day.
having that perspective of, well, I just did it at the next level. Like, surely we can make it happen here. So, again, just his experience and knowing we can provide a good, solid practice in front of a live audience and not be too concerned about it. But, there was an announcement, no videos of practice, but I know they put out, there was some coverage of it. So, but it was neat. It was cool that just not something that you ever see. And so it was neat for me to be out there and see, there's fans out here watching a practice. So it was cool. I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. It was, I wish I could have taken in and really analyzed more practice, but I think this is a really good football team. I really do. And I'm not just saying that. I know we can be considered the Homer network, but as what we were saying the other day about some of those when we were sitting there looking at all of the players that were coming for that pre-fall camp media deal, that there's a lot of good players on this football team. There's a lot of talent. I think they've upped the talent and they've certainly upgraded it at quarterback. And I think this is a good football team, and I think it's okay to embrace some of those expectations. And I mean, Coach Ruhl even said it at media day. Hey, no, it will be a disappointment if we don't get to a bowl game. So I think now that you've gotten to this point, now you embrace those expectations. But I'm excited. I cannot wait to continue to watch this team throughout fall camp and see how it all unfolds. But I think this is a solid football team. There's no doubt about it.
Outstanding point about the NFL, because you're right. You can walk up to any NFL practice right now while they're in camp and go. You can go down there to St. Joe, Missouri, and watch the Chiefs every day if you want to. And college coaches are just pretty paranoid. They lock the gates around the stadium. They've got people out looking and see if somebody's trying to spy gate and come up with some kind of video. I think that's just kind of in the nature of a football coach, that they're so protective of their product. But now Matt Rule has been exposed to the NFL and going, man, the gates are wide open at the highest level of this sport. Why don't we do it occasionally in college? Obviously, you don't want to do that every day, and you want to have a few little wrinkles that you can throw at UTEP or Colorado those first couple of weeks because they've not seen you play or not seen you run that formation or this formation. But that's a good point. The preseason coaches poll came out today. How about that here on August the 5th? Georgia, the Bulldogs, the number one team in the country. They got 46 first-place votes. The Ohio State Buckeyes were second with 7. Oregon, one of the new members to the Big Ten, was third. Texas got 1 first-place vote. They are fourth, and Alabama is fifth. Rest of the Big Ten, you got Michigan at 8, Penn State at 9. I think Penn State's sneaky good. I think that's a team to keep an eye on this year. And then kind of going down to the rest of it, you've got USC at 23 and Iowa at 25. So the Huskers, of their 12 games, will play 3 preseason top 25 teams in Iowa, USC, and Ohio State. So my math's not very good. Is that 1/4 of the schedule would be against teams that are preseason ranked? Is that right? Am I okay on that? 1/4, 25%?
I think so. Yeah.
Carry the 1, the 4. Yeah, I think so. I have no problem with the preseason poll. They don't mean a whole lot once we kick things off here in a couple weeks, but they are kind of fun to look at and see what at least everybody's perception about these teams are going into the season.
I with as much love as there is Ohio State, I get it putting Georgia first, but I'm kind of surprised they didn't even put Ohio State number 1 overall.
As much as, I think the quarterback, because Georgia's quarterback is back. Ohio State, it might be Will Howard. It might be one of their young freshmen. They didn't do it. By the way, Nebraska got 2 votes, so a couple of votes for the Cornhuskers. Other teams that we play, Wisconsin got 17 votes, not in the top 25, but they did get 17 votes. And I think that's it for teams that Nebraska plays that got votes. So, again, once you kick it off on the 31st for all of us, doesn't mean much, but it's a starting point to jump off from there. All right, here's what we have in the program tonight. Matt Rule did hold the presser before the practice on Saturday. We'll play some of the clips of that. As he'll reinforce what Jess just said. He likes this football team. Hour number 2, Jess had a chance to catch up with Heinrich Harberg on Friday. We'll hear from Double Eights, the returning starter for the Huskers at the quarterback spot. We'll hear his thoughts after a couple of practices already in camp. And we'll hear from one of our faves, Emmett Johnson, who looked good, I'm told by most observers from the practice the other night. And he was running with the ones, with Ramir coming in some situational times, and then Gabe kind of followed that in. So we'll hear from Emmett coming up in the second hour of the program. And we want to hear from you, 402-413-2400 with a call or a text. That is our Woodhouse Auto Family Hotline. They are your trusted auto partner, 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Go visit us online at woodhouse.com. We're back with some clips from the head coach from Saturday's presser. We'll do that next.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
O'Reilly. Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free and provides a report with solutions based on over 650 million vehicle scans verified by ASE certified master technicians. And if you need help, we can recommend a shop for you. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your basement and damaging your home. Mold, cracks, and of course visible water are just a few signs your basement is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Not much can be counted on these days, especially getting timely rains. However, having a T&L irrigation system gives you water on demand. This is an insurance policy you pay for once and cash in time and time again. Perfect for all irrigators, T&L irrigation systems don't require complicated, expensive, and dangerous high-voltage electricity. They're driven continuously forward by hydrostatic drives. Take some uncertainty out of farming with an intuitive hydrostatic-powered T&L system. Visit TLIRR.com to learn more. T&L, like no other.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe insurance should adjust to fit your needs. That's why we work with you to design an auto, home, and life insurance plan that's particular to you. Insurance that fits just right. And Shelter is known for our award-winning customer service, satisfied customers, and a plan for you. Ready to check us out? Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
See Shelter Agent Travis Hawk in Scottsbluff, Jim Mowinkle in Gretna, or Shane Bernhardt in Norfolk.
Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs. They are the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you here on a Monday night. I hope you had a great weekend. I had some buddies in town, spent some time with them on Saturday. That was great to do, and watched quite a bit of the Olympics over the weekend, but particularly yesterday. It was just too darn hot to go do much outside. And how's Sunny doing with all this heat?
She does not like it at all. She is not a fan. She wants to be inside, but also I think she hurt like her paw pad, so she has been down and out of the commission. I took her on a walk on Saturday morning, so I got to monitor that. But she's been favoring her paw pad, so she hasn't been wanting, or her paw, so she hasn't been wanting to go outside much anyways. So, but no, she's not a fan at all.
Oh,
she is a little diva when it comes to the heat.
Well,
Loves
I mean,
the
it is.
snow.
It's hard.
We're like opposite in that regard. I do not love the cold as much. She loves the cold.
Yeah, you said she gets kind of bouncy when it's cold outside.
She loves it.
Yeah. All right, before that practice for 1890 on Saturday night, the head coach met with the media. So the Huskers had practiced on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So they'd had 3 practices in when he met with the media before that. So time for us to launch into tonight's practice report.
It's time for the Nebraska football practice report.
Getting out of boot camp and getting to football is probably exciting for them, but also relief because I know a lot of these guys, the guys that came back, they came back because they want to get to the season.
And as we were mentioning, actually Jessica was mentioning the opening segment, Roy likes his football team. The coach kind of echoes this as he talked about his day 4 impressions of this football team.
Yeah, I mean, we're light years ahead of where we were in the spring. I mean, they've done such a good job. I mean, Corey and his staff, Mitch, Kristen, Chris Peduzzi, all the off-the-field staff, but the credit has to go to the players. And there was a day, I came back in July before media days, and I want to leave the guys alone. So I kind of went upstairs to the cardio deck, and I'm just doing like the old man walk. And I'm looking outside at the O-line drills and the D-line drills. And you would have thought the coaches were out there, but it's just the older guys coaching them. So I think it's a real testament to the players and where they are. So I'm really pleased with where we are for 4 days. We have a long way to go, but we're night and day ahead of where we were this time last year. I can say that much.
It's funny. Who was it that I chatted with the other day, and I asked about the defense, and they said last year they were eyes just wide open and had no idea, just head spinning. But, it's going to move fast, and it is chaos, and that's how we've heard this defense described from the start. But they understand the chaos now. So I think there just is an understanding of how things are done, how quickly they move, the competitive nature, just the expectations. And then, you got some older guys, and then the talent is there. So I can see why you'd be excited about, through the first week. As he mentioned, though, it is just the first week. They've got to keep the pedal to the metal and take it one day at a time and get better every day. But I'm not surprised that this team is doing well throughout the first stretch of camp because of the veteran leadership and just where they were, and hearing the conversations that I've had with a lot of the players of where they feel like they are with their body and the team, and being a tough team and all of that, and being able to handle what is expected of them from the start of practice.
But boy, to hear him say night and day ahead of last year, whew, that grabs your attention. Now, some guys were held out of Saturday night's practice, minor bumps and bruises. Tommy Hill banged knees with somebody with Princewell Uman Manyelon also had a kind of a sore knee. Jalen Lloyd did not practice. Maybe the most serious injury in the first couple of days was Henry Lutovsky, the offensive lineman. He said he's going to be out a couple of weeks. Doesn't think he would miss the first game, but is going to be out for a couple of weeks. So then that kind of led to a question to the coach about his thoughts about that interior part of the offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, Justin Evans played well enough last year to win, so I know he's a starter for us. Mike is having a really good camp, which is great, I've been very blunt about Mike, and I like where his head's at and I like where his practice is at. So Mike is having a good camp. Tyler Knox having a good camp, and many more. So one thing about the O-line, we got some bullets in the holster, so hopefully Henry gets back because he's a big part of that group. But we have a lot of other guys we can move around and put them in there.
Yeah, I mean, just that depth. It's not like we would expect Henry to be a starter on the front, but he's provided depth the last, 2 seasons. Yeah. And so, he is that veteran backup, that veteran depth that they can rotate in because they need a lot of bodies in that room to be able to be ready to go. So fortunately, it's not a long-term injury, and he's going to be back, and he is a veteran guy that does know things a little bit, so you feel a little bit better about that. But now here's another opportunity for one of those younger guns to step up and have, hey, here's some more reps for you to be able to get ready here over these next couple of weeks.
Yeah, Tyler Knox was playing some guard the other night in that open practice. I've thought of him more as a tackle, but we've heard Coach Raiola say, I want these guys working at different spots. I know, Jess, at the practice, some people were surprised that Turner was working with the first team at left tackle, not Teddy, but Turner. And I think Turner got nicked up a little bit as the night went on. But I think I said this last week, Turner's not going to give that thing up without a fight. I mean, he's used to starting football games here in Nebraska. He's not just going to go, okay, yeah, Teddy, it's your time. He's going to make Teddy earn that spot.
Oh, yeah, he absolutely is. And, and I think Turner might be one that if Teddy does earn it or whatever, that Turner is one that you could move in. We heard Coach Raiola tell us in the summer he can see him at multiple spots. He's even worked out a little bit at center. But I was going to mention that, too. At the end of the night, you saw him a little bit banged up. So hopefully he's all right and it's not anything serious that sets him back. But that's good. That's to push each other to have that kind of problem where you have a Turner and a Teddy that both have played significant time at left tackle that you feel good about there. That's not a bad thing by any means.
Yeah. All right, let's flip over to the other side of football, the defensive secondary, which I think a lot of us are fascinated by how that's going to play itself out. There were guys held out of the scrimmage. Blyhill's not back yet, although I was told he was in uniform and doing some work on the sideline, did not get out there in any of the team drills. And Marquise Buford was held out for precautionary reasons, and Tommy Hill mentioned that as well, just kind of a workload management. But that secondary is certainly going to be a fight to get on the football field. Here's the coach with his evaluation of that secondary.
Yeah, I mean, you go to one-on-ones, Mitch, and they all can cover. That's the good news. Like, I'm watching Amari Sanders. I'm watching Larry Tarver, and I'm like, man, we got some guys. It's just about, can you mentally day in and day out handle the rigors, handle the amount of stuff that we do. So, that I can't answer that yet, right? Are they ready to play? But from a talent standpoint, they're unbelievably talented. As I say to our players, skill beats talent. You're big, fast, run, explosive. That's awesome. Now you have to develop skill. But they can cover. Can they handle all the other stuff? I think they can, and I have a lot of confidence in them. Throw Jeremiah Charles in that mix, all those young guys, they're all going to be ready to play. And then we're moving a lot of guys around, like Rio Buford's a guy who's good in the spring, good in the summer, so he'll play some corner, some nickel. Marquise Buford, Marquise is out too, right, tonight? Yeah, Marquise is out tonight. Marquise banged knees yesterday in practice, so he's got a little, him and Princeville have bone bruises, that should hold him for a day or two, but Keith has been playing corner and safety. Malcolm's been playing corner and safety, so, that field, as I told you guys, that field safety is kind of like a nickel, so they do both.
And I think what's good, too, is, and Tommy Hill actually mentioned this the other day about how much, the quarterbacks and the wide receivers and how this offense is now how much that's pushing the defensive backs. So, matching up against some of that talent that you and I talked about a lot in the first segment and have throughout, since fall camp, the Ja'Cory Barneys, the Jamal Banks, the Isaiah Nayors, that is only going to push these defensive backs to be able to match up and what to handle on a game day type basis. So I think that's good too. Just the competition is there, but they certainly have the bodies to figure out if there's somebody in there, right? I mean, 28 of them in there. So hopefully they've got a couple of guys that they feel good about, running out there in the secondary. And they're going to play a lot of them. And we've talked a lot about this as well on this program. You have said, I feel like since I have joined you on this program, why do they not rotate guys in the secondary and give guys breaks and run multiple players in those spots? And we saw this defense do that last year, and I think it boded well for this team. So I think they're going to play a lot of different guys back there. They'll settle in on a group, but I think we'll continue to see a lot of different guys play back there for this defense.
Well, he just dropped some names on us, didn't he? Amari Sanders, Larry Tarver, a couple of true freshmen that have come in and opened some eyes a little bit. And I'm telling you, there's going to be some games this fall where we're going to look out there and go, all right, now, who's that? And there's just some good young football players on this team that aren't just going to be content to say, oh yeah, redshirt me this year and I'll just go play NCAA 25 with Conway the rest of the night and not do anything. They're going to want to be on the field and play. And so, I love it when I hear a name like an Amari Sanders get thrown out there, because that tells me, man, we got some good depth coming up through the ranks of this football program.
Yeah, and again, going back to what you said, they're not going to make it easy on those guys that are returning. They want they're competitive, and they've had a lot of talent. They were highly touted in high school, and so they're coming in here like, I don't know any better. I'm just going to go compete to try to play and get on the field. I don't care that I'm a true freshman. And so they're going to battle and push. And I heard it from the veteran defensive backs all since those freshmen have gotten here. And then as the new crop came in, is just how talented they are. And so, yeah, that is exciting. And going back to that, redshirt rule too, if they're not ready to play right away, you can put them out there. And it also, the element of surprise, if you're preparing for certain guys and tendencies and then, let's run out this true freshman that's been lighting it up in practice and he's not really on the film. I think is a good thing too.
All right. The practice was in the stadium, which we have learned from Troy Dannon over the last month or so is going to be converted to grass by 2026. Matt Rule had converted one of the practice fields to grass. So now Nebraska has 2 full grass practice fields. That's kind of the way he wants to go and the direction of that. Here's the head coach talking about his preference for grass and the move toward that here in the coming years.
Well, the outdoor practice fields, they had to redo a couple things on them like you have to do every year. And it's been a tremendous, I think, partnership between East Campus and, the turf grass science people that are there and the College of Agriculture and the people that are here. And so we have, really, really nice fields. There'll be a time probably later in the year, Courtney just got here. And he's talked about, hey, later in the year, you have to replace and sod out the grass, to play late into the year. we want to play 7 months of football. So, I feel, I think after field turf is great. There's a place for it. I think when you can be on grass, just the pounding and all that repetitive day after day is better. But we'll play on either one, and when they first put artificial turf in here, it was very cutting edge, right? Because it was really hard to grow grass in this region of the country and have it, now grass strains and all the things that you can do and lamps and, it's just a whole other level. So, that's certainly something I'm in favor for, but of the things I'm worried about in my life right now, it's whether we can pick up third down blitzes, so that's something that, Troy's kind of spearheading. But, if we can do it, great. And if not, certainly we're an agricultural college. So I think when you have a turf grass science department as esteemed as ours is, having grass just, brings more people to the university as well.
I think he put it out there perfectly. We've known he's been a fan of grass since he got here and easier on the body. And a lot of players say that they prefer playing on it. And so, there have been advances in the way that you manage a grass field. And there are there are certainly teams that have grass field even more north than us that manage it throughout a season. So it's a lot of work, but I think, as he said, it certainly can be done. I also was going to mention this too. I noticed on Saturday, we had talked a lot about the switching of the sidelines, and one of the concerns is, well, there's not enough room over there, but they did widen it. So there is an extended area that will be able to hold everything for the football team on the press box side. So I know that was a question, but it's bigger. So I think they probably feel better about being able to hold everything, and not just, the team and a big team, but the medical tent and all the things that they have over there on the sideline to be able to, go throughout a game day. So it's bigger. I know that was a concern for Searles.
Yeah. They took the fence down. They removed some of the bricks that were on that side. And so, there was a way to get that done. What I think really sealed it for Matt Rule on the grass was we played last November up in East Lansing against Michigan State, and they've got a grass field. And they're further north than we are, and they get more snow than we do. And I think, he's like, okay, if they can do it, and that's an ag school with a department in turf management, just like here at Nebraska, let's do this. Let's be the one to convert. And you look around the Big Ten. Penn State's grass, Purdue is grass, Michigan State is grass. I'm going to miss one or two here, but I think, if it's 5% better for the players, isn't that worth it over a 10-year period of time that you've made it 5% better for your players? So I think that's great.
Yeah.
And,
in the, the luxury of being able to have that grass practice field that's
right
on the side so you have the turf that's indoor, and then you have the grass on the outdoor. A lot of programs don't have that space. I mean, I'll just go back to my time at Oklahoma. They had to practice in the stadium a lot more, or couldn't, and so it was a little bit hard. They didn't have the luxury of having the space of having a grass field right outside the turf field. They were using like the track, but it wasn't a full field. So, not a lot of programs have the luxury of having all the different areas of where to practice. And so when you talk about, you got to stay off the stadium field, well, that's okay, because we're going to have the same kind of grass on our practice field that we'll be able to be able to know how it feels and all of that. So, that's the one concern. You can't practice in the stadium. But I don't know, this team doesn't really practice much in the stadium anyways, like maybe a lot of teams do, or might take advantage of that. But, maintaining it as far as, we're just going to play here on a few Saturdays and maybe throughout spring, but I think will be a little bit easier because they have the luxury of having a full practice field that maybe a lot of places don't have.
The kickers generally will try to get some work done in the stadium, and I'm told John Hull and Nico Ottamanelli kicked the ball well the other night for Nebraska. Brian Buschini did not have a great night. I'm not to the concerned level yet, but Brian's got to be more consistent than he was last year. John in Omaha said, I'm not sure what the opposite of hyperbole is. I get the feeling that Matt Rule is way excited about his talent coming to the field this year, but just wants to keep expectations reasonable. I think, John, you're spot on. I think he felt like he had a bowl-type team a year ago. Well, we just fell short because of the darn turnover margins that we couldn't get. I think he feels like he has a team that can basically compete with anybody on their schedule, but you don't want to pound your chest when you haven't been to a bowl game in 8 years. You've got to temper that a little bit. It just looks odd if you go out there and you're really braggadocious about your team and you haven't done much as a program for so long. So I think he's playing this right. All right, I need to take a break. 402-413-2400. Keep those texts coming. We'll keep rolling along here on a Monday night Sports Nightly.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect that water is the reason parts of your concrete have gotten so uneven. Walkway tripping hazards, sinking pool deck, cracked driveways are dangerous threats to everyone's safety. But there's one way to learn how your concrete can be lifted. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
See Shelter Agents Pete Voles or Brent Ruggo in North Platte, or in Broken Bow, see Agent Brent Custer.
Sports Nightly is brought to you by Choices Treatment Center. If you or someone you know is struggling with problem gambling, free treatment is available in Nebraska. Call Choices 24-hour helpline at 402-476-2300. For more information, office is located in Lincoln and Columbus. Husker Volleyball began practices today. They had their first full-team workout here today. John Cook and Lindsey Krause and Kennedy Orr will be headed to Chicago tomorrow to represent the Huskers at Media Day. Today was day one of that event in Chicago. Half the league went today. The other half will go tomorrow, including the Huskers. And soccer, as Camden told you in the top of the hour ticker, has an exhibition game against the Kangaroos of Kansas City starting at the top of the hour. We've got a couple questions about whether that is being streamed. We don't believe so. We're looking into it, though, but I don't believe that there'll be a stream of that match out there. And my goodness, is it hot for that thing. I mean, you got temperatures right close to 100 degrees. They'll have to take a couple of hydration breaks each have. Again, even I know they'll probably sub it a lot, but whew, it's going to be a scorcher out there tonight.
Brutal. At least, are they, most of it, the field is in the shade by now, right?
Should be. The grandstand should cover at least the near boundary, but the team's benches are across the way.
Sun,
they may be in the shade. They may be in the sun for a while over there. That'd be too bad for that. But yeah, free admission if you want to go out and watch some soccer. And the stands are in the shade, so you'll be in the shade for that. Matt in Raymond said, it certainly appears that we have good talent on paper. It also comes down to the X's and O's. Amen to that. And getting in the plus column on takeaways. Matt, I would take being dead even.
Right.
I mean, yeah, if we're plus, yeah, but give me just back to square one for that time. Solid defense that doesn't give up the big play, and an offense that knows how to grind out the clock and to wear down their opponents. If we do all that, we'll be very competitive, but we'll be looking at winning the Big Ten and getting bowl qualified, and in the next several years, challenging for the national championship. Now, I mean, you're right, Matt. I'm on all that. That's the formula. Easier said than done, as we've been through this 8-year abyss of not being able to do that. But I just think if they can just cut down that turnover, and I've heard the defense say they want to be a 40-20 team, Jess. They want 40 sacks, 20 takeaways from this football team. I think those are good. I think those are good goals to have. 20 sacks would be about a sack and a half a game. I think they can maybe do more than that, but I think those are some of their goals they're throwing out there.
Yeah, I mean, I think absolutely. And we heard Coach Rule say the other day that they don't just want to get a bunch in one game, right? You want to be consistent about taking the ball away every single game. And so 2 a game, that would be about right? About 1.5 or so, or close to 2, not quite 2 a game if you average that. And so I think that's doable when you break it down like that. And I think certainly they expect to be able to do that, and whether that's getting interceptions or forcing the fumbles and then recovering the fumbles. And so, yeah, I think that's doable. And I would think too that maybe the sacks could be even higher than that. Certainly the tackles for loss and the sacks getting to the backfield, they have the talent and certainly the guys that should be able to get there and get home. And it's been a huge emphasis. And I know just talking with a lot of those guys too, it's just that's a big focus. So I would think that's absolutely the sacks part. I would think that would be doable.
Another practice report coming away tomorrow night. We will hear from Terrence Knighton and new defensive backs coach John Butler. They're going to meet with the media tomorrow, and they'll make some defensive players available for the Huskers. You heard Matt Rule allude to this earlier in the hour. They will have their first big scrimmage. Usually have 2 before you start the season. They'll have their first big one this Saturday. So you'll learn a lot. You will start to get some separation on the depth chart after this scrimmage. They'll usually go 120, 130 plays. It's a big deal. It's a big marker in camp is when you go through that first big scrimmage, and you really start to kind of see the pieces of this football team come together after that. So we'll be anxious. I think Coach Rural will talk Saturday after the scrimmage. So it'll be interesting to see what he has to say about that. All right, 402-413-2400. Keep those texts, calls coming. We're back to wrap up hour 1 next.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
Husker Nation, your women's basketball team is gearing up for another incredible season, and you can be right in the heart of the action. Join the season ticket request list today and guarantee your spot for another year of Husker dominance. Witness every key basket, every clutch steal, and celebrate every victory with the most dedicated fans in the nation. Don't wait. Head over to huskers.com/tickets and secure your seat for an unforgettable season. Go Big Red.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health, and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Woodhouse Auto Family, they are your trusted auto partner. 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Visit us online at woodhouse.com. Sam in Omaha goes, wasn't your guys' first call together the exhibition game in 2021? We did the show from out there, but we didn't call the match. I mean, we were kind of following. Who they played? Do you remember who they played?
I don't remember. We were up there in the booth, and we had some technical challenges, and but yeah, I do remember that like it was yesterday. It was fun. We were giving updates throughout.
Yeah, but I just don't remember who we played. I know one year we played BYU in an exhibition, but I don't think that was that year. But good memory, Sam. Well done on you. Rod in Albion says, how do you think the grass fields are going to affect state championship games? Will that be too much wear and tear? Will they look to move them elsewhere? They have said no, Rod. Troy Dannon addressed that last week at a breakfast that he spoke at. He says, no, I mean, every other year we're playing at Iowa, so the home schedule is over by the time of those state championship games. So every other year it's not a problem. But he goes, no, we're not planning on moving those games out of Memorial. We're planning on hosting those and then hosting the Hawkeyes on Black Friday. So I know a lot of people who are big fans of high school football have wondered about that, and I did too, to be honest with you. I mean, grass fields, if you've got snow coming down and you can really tear that up, and your biggest game of the year is still Iowa at the end of the college season, you don't want that to happen. But Troy Dannon's pretty adamant he wants to keep those high school games in the stadium there in late November. Well, the Olympics continued on today. Today was kind of a quiet day. You had some of the Olympic gymnasts kind of wrap up their performances over there. But I don't think either basketball team played today. The men's volleyball team played and won. Women's volleyball did not play. They move on. They're into the quarterfinals starting tomorrow as they swept France in their final pool play match on Sunday. So a little bit quieter day at the Olympics today. But my goodness, every event I keep turning on. I was watching some dressage. That's the horse dancing, prancing event. There was a big crowd there, and Snoop Dogg was out there doing a piece. I mean, I've just been really impressed with the crowd. The crowds at the golf over the weekend were huge. I mean, I've just been really impressed.
I saw somewhere that Snoop Dogg's getting paid like $500,000 for his promotional work of the Olympics, and then plus all of his expenses paid. But hey, he's bringing a lot of interest, and I think the athletes seem to embrace him being there. So, did you see the horse that has like the lit music, Greg? The really yeah. How did he do?
Cool.
Did they like win, or is it over?
Oh, I don't know about that. I saw that because Snoop did a piece about it, and I watched that piece, and he showed the music for that. But it is pretty amazing what they can get those animals to do. I mean, they literally are dancing out there. It's crazy.
On the beat. It's unbelievable. Yeah. It's fun to watch, but I haven't watched any of that. I didn't know where they stood. I was watching the 3-on-3 basketball today. I was a big fan of that the last Olympics. The U.S. women got off to a slow start, but they ended up advancing to the basically the bracket or the tournament to get through to the medal rounds, and they were in the semifinals today, and I was pretty disappointed with how that ended. It ended in a foul, and Spain got to shoot a free throw, ended up winning, and so knocked out Team USA with Haley Van Lith, who's a big name in women's basketball. She's on that team, but they did end up winning the bronze, so I watched both of those. I was disappointed, though, they didn't get to go compete for the gold medal due to an officiating calling the foul. Never wanted to see it end in that, right? In free throws, even if it is 3-on-3. Yeah. So, but they got bronze, so
good.
There you go.
At least they medaled. They got on the podium. That's a big deal for that. All right, hour one done. Hour two, we're going to hear from Heinrich Harberg and Emmett Johnson. Talk to a couple of football players. After a week of practices are now in the books, we'll do that next.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did? Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See shelter agent Rhonda Miller in Alliance, Stephanie Culver in Holdridge, or Jonna Austin in Fairbury.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian automotive vehicles in operations versus total new registrations for model years 2023 to 2022 as of December 2022.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Good evening, I'm Camden Cohn, and our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. This past weekend, Husker football head coach Matt Rule spoke to the media prior to the 1890 open practice. Rule spoke about a couple of different topics, including how it's nice to practice and be evaluated in front of a crowd.
Yeah, probably evaluation, but even more so teaching. I had a really good young player the other day, and I said, how'd that period go? He said, I learned. He said, it's my first time doing it, I learned. For me, part of the teaching process of getting, a young team, we have some older veteran leadership, but we have some young players, getting them to understand that, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Steph Curry, they don't change their shot. They don't think about their shot, and they don't change their shot in the final seconds. They do what they do. So with thousands of people out there, we've got to go do what we do. And so if some people don't do that, it's not like we push them down. We're just going to go back and teach them. And training camp's a period of highs and lows, man. Some days you're really tight, some days you're beat up, but you go out there anyway. So we look at the aggregate, and really next Saturday the scrimmage will be probably a really important day. But I do think having the crowd and seeing where we are in that regard will be awesome. If someone scores a touchdown and does the Rod Tidwell and takes off their pads and starts dancing, I'm going to be upset. So hopefully we can stay in the moment.
The 2024-25 season kicks off tonight for the Nebraska soccer team as they host Kansas City for an exhibition at Hibner Stadium. Kickoff is scheduled in just a few minutes, and admission is free. Earlier today, the Big Ten Network announced their upcoming volleyball TV schedule, and Nebraska is featured on BTN, FS1, and NBC a total of 17 times, including 14 of their 20 conference matchups. Matchups with Creighton, Stanford, Oregon, and Wisconsin will all be on the Big Ten Network. For more information, head to Huskers.com. Plenty of Olympics news and notes for today. The U.S. men's volleyball team defeated Brazil in 4 sets to advance to the semifinals. In women's gymnastics, Simone Biles earned the silver medal on the floor today, while Jordan Chiles earned bronze. And finally, the U.S. women's 3-on-3 team won the bronze medal today with a 16-13 win over Canada. Our sports ticker is brought to you by the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. Call a timeout. If you or someone you know is struggling or in crisis, the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline is there. Call, text, or chat 988. It's free, confidential, and staffed with trained counselors ready to listen and provide support. Hour 2 of Sports Nightly is up next, right here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Coming to you live from Memorial Stadium, it's Sports Nightly. All the Huskers, all the time. Sports Nightly is presented to you by the NDOT Highway Safety Office, who remind you to buckle up and put the phone down.
Heinrich gonna step in back, little G-belly action. There's a man wide open. It's Jalen Lloyd. The throw, he makes a catch. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown, Nebraska.
Nebraska serving specialist Kennedy sends it over Vasquez Gomez. Perfect pass, set it up. Fairbanks diving, take Laney Choboy. Bumps it left Nebraska. Harper and nearly drops. Free ball back. Oh, a block back by Becca, and that nearly drops. And a free ball finally over, block back by Becca, and that does. Becca Alec, she's putting on a blocking clinic. They can't get it over.
Bryce Williams puts his head down, cut off by good defense by Mbako. Now up top it comes to Mast. Mast dribbles once, gives it back to Williams, shoots a 3 on the way. Got it again! Another 3. Williams on fire.
Yeah, Shelley, who has electrified this crowd. She'll take a 28-footer. You betcha! Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? She ends the first quarter in triple style.
Ball's at a strike here on Gabe Swanson, the pitch. Hit pretty well towards left center field. Going back on it is Graves. Graves at the wall, and it's gone again! Swanson's gone deep again! Gabe with his second solo shot of the game.
Billy swings and crushes this one to the moon. Left center and gone. No doubt on that one. 3-1 Nebraska.
Here are your hosts, Greg Sharpe and Jessica Coody on the Huskers Radio Network.
Boy, here in Kent Pavelka, I don't know if you guys follow Kent on X, but he doesn't have power yet from that storm that hit Omaha last Wednesday night, about the time we were on the air. So he and Lou have not been able to have the comforts of AC or all those type of things. He talked about going to a local school to charge up his devices, his phones, his iPads, and those type of things. Man, that's like 5 days. I'm feeling bad for KP, Jess.
I know, and all the
okay.
folks, I know that there's multiple people affected, and it stinks that it's taken so long because it's so hot. It's not like it's a nice spring day where you can just open up the windows. So hopefully they get everything worked out for those folks up there soon, because I know it's big pain.
Damon Benning was affected as well up in Omaha. Said that he was without power for about 48 hours. So he said they got it back sometime on Friday. But man, Kent is into day 5 up there in Omaha, and he's getting a little. I can't blame him. He's kind of getting a little agitated with some of his posts on X. But hopefully, KP, they get those lights kicked back on for you at a sooner than later, as you move forward. What a cool deal. Camden had this in the ticker that Husker Volleyball is going to make an appearance on NBC Saturday, October the 19th. They'll be at Ohio State, so they'll be going up against college football that day. But what a cool deal to have. NBC is one of the new Big Ten partners that they're going to stick their toe into college volleyball moving forward. They'll be on ESPN2 for their opener with Kentucky, and that showcase on August 27th. That'll be, 3 weeks from tomorrow is when they'll start their season. That's a big match. So ESPN2, FS1, they've got a match. So, and 70 regular season matches on BTN. That is just awesome. Great job. BTN, you and I have talked about this. BTN really does such a good job of covering a lot of the Olympic sports. I mean, I don't really lock into lacrosse when they put that on in the spring, but I mean, there are people that are big fans of lacrosse. I think that's great that they expose that. BTN is pretty well thought out. I think they do a pretty good job.
They've done such a good job too, I think, you could argue that they are pretty much responsible on putting volleyball on a larger scale, because Big Ten Network actually is in a lot of packages, whereas the SEC Network, the Longhorn Network really wasn't. But Big Ten Network seemed to be in a lot of different packages, TV packages. And so, the fact that they put them on TV, and then, just the more exposure, the better, the more you can continue to grow the sport, the more that it's there. And so I think they've done a really great job. There's a reason why the Big Ten is considered the best volleyball conference in the country, and a lot of it is because of that coverage and exposure that the Big Ten Network has continued to provide. And that it's not just one team or two teams that are good, it's a lot of teams. It's a deep league, so they certainly have, and I think that's great that NBC is going to take on some of these sports. We saw Fox, and even it was NBC, right, that put on was it Ohio State Iowa women's basketball game last year. And so the more that these new partners continue to put on the women's sports, it's just, I love it. I think that's great. And, the more people that can watch, the more exposure, the more that everything continues to grow. So it's certainly a great recruiting tool as well for these teams in this league. Hey, look at our partners. We're on NBC. We're on all these different networks that your families can watch you play, or the entire country that the eyes are on us. So it's certainly a great deal.
You talked about how good the league has been, and now you add Oregon, perennial NCAA tournament team, Sweet 16, Elite 8 type team. USC, UCLA have both won national titles. Washington has been a really good program down through the years. So the league that's been really good and by far the best in the country just got stronger with the addition of those four. It's going to be so much fun the next couple of months following that volleyball race for that. Huskers began practice this afternoon. Tomorrow, John Cook, Lindsey Krause, Kennedy Orr will represent the Cornhuskers in Chicago at Big Ten Media Days. We'll play some of the highlights of that tomorrow night here on the show. Well, on Friday, Nebraska football made the quarterbacks available to the media. We heard from Dylan Raiola on Friday's show. Tonight, Jessica sits down with Heinrich Harberg, last year's starter.
Here with Heinrich Harberg. Well, a few days into this, how's it going?
Oh, it's exciting, really fun and tiring, but that's what you expect from fall camp.
Overall, how do you feel like you guys have done these first few practices?
I think we've come out with a lot of energy, executed decently. There's always room for improvement there, but I think with a lot of some of these new guys, and Danny and Dylan have done an awesome job just kind of orchestrating for this being their first fall camp.
Take me back to, if you reflect on how you felt going into this thing a year ago and how you feel now. What are the biggest differences in how you feel this fall camp compared to a year ago?
I think it's just a sense of comfort with Coach Sat. This is the first year that I've ran the same offense as I did last year. Yeah. So that's pretty nice. Just being able to take what I learned last year. And obviously there's new stuff, but it's kind of just a puzzle, and now I know how to put the pieces together. So that's nice.
Coach Thomas, what's been the best part about working with him? How has he helped this overall quarterback room?
Yeah, I think it's just a fresh approach. I don't know if there's anything that's, he has a lot of experience, obviously, and he's a great coach. Him and Coach Sat just have just a couple different things that how they look at stuff. And so implementing those changes, I think, is going to help us.
He raved about your leadership for the quarterbacks and just, this role that you've taken on in that regard. What has that been like for you, being more of a leader and being one of the older guys in the room?
Well, it's been a little weird. I feel like I took a huge jump. Last year I think I was still the youngest quarterback, and then now I'm the oldest. So, but I've had a lot of really good guys to model after, Adrian, Casey, Jeff. And so just watching them, I kind of got a sense for how that should be done. And I think that's helped me a lot.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that, being that you have worked with so many different quarterbacks. What are some of the best qualities that lead to the overall best quarterback rooms that you've taken away from your time and working with all those quarterbacks?
Well, I think a lot of it is just being able to be compatible off the field. If things don't go your way on the field, you have to be able to come off and know that there's a sense of comfort from those guys that you spend. We spend 12 hours a day together right now. So being able to just come off the field and just know that those guys have your back is really awesome.
You just overall just feel so different. The expectations you guys are all hungry, motivated to take another step. How has that felt different this time around, just knowing what this team can accomplish and what the goals are?
Yeah, I think it's kind of, we've played, the way I was thinking about it actually yesterday was, so we've done a video game once, and now we just reset. We know the game. We know what Coach Rule's standards are. And so just knowing last year kind of felt like we took a couple blind steps and just trusting him. And now, we kind of know what his process is. And, yeah, he's going to throw, next thing you know, it'll be completely different now that I say this. But, for the most part, the older guys know what he expects from us. Right. And so I think that makes things a little easier.
How ready overall for this offense do you think this offense is to take another step and improve from what you guys did a year ago? Yeah,
I think kind of like last year, like the last question. We saw what happened to us last year, what held us back, and what propelled us forward. And so I think capitalizing on those things and fixing the things that held us back, that's only going to help us.
Okay, so we were just chatting with Danny. I just asked him what's his favorite part about the new facility. So what's your favorite part about the new facility?
I'd have to say the theater.
The theater?
Yeah. I love, right now it's been, me and there's 6 offensive linemen. We go in there and we play UFC, EA college football, and just watch movies. And so I think just getting in there and just being able to relax for a little bit.
Yeah. I heard the training table's pretty nice. How's it?
Yeah, it's amazing. About as close to home-cooked meals as you can get, so it's nice.
Just all of the things that are provided, just being able to manage your body and feeling your best every day. How nice is that as an athlete to have all the bells and whistles that this place provides? Yeah,
it's awesome, but you have to capitalize on them, and I think that's what Coach Rule has been talking to us and especially the young guys about is we have this really nice facility now. Use it. You can't practice and go straight home. That's not what this is about. It's here for a reason, so use it as much as you can.
All right, finally, just what's your approach to these next few weeks? How are you taking it day by day?
Yeah, like you said, it's day by day, as hard as I can go every single day. I mean, that's the thing. Like Coach Rule talks about it. You can't judge a practice whether it was good or bad. All you can look at is how hard you went and your preparation going into it.
Appreciate your time, Heinrich.
Thank you.
You know, Greg, for whatever his role might be, I think it's going to be a huge one. However it plays out, his leadership and the guys in the locker room love him. I mean, we've talked a lot about that over the last couple of years, how well respected he is by the guys in that locker room. And, he's been a great leader. Coach Thomas told you when he sat down with you how great he's been, how big of a leader he's been, and he's part of that leadership group of older guys that understand what needs to be done and the culture that's in place. And so I think he's going to continue to play a big role in whatever it might be. And just the perspective and understanding, I mean, and I loved a lot of the things that he said, but just, hey, last year we went into this a little bit blindly, but trusting Coach Rule. Now we understand those expectations, so it does feel differently in that regard. And then also what he said too at the end about the new facilities, and there's so many things there that can help you even further the kind of athlete that you want to become and taking care of your body and all those things. And here it is now, utilize it, is what Coach Rule said. So they're trying to make sure that they are doing what they can to utilize everything that's been given to them and that allows for them to be able to continue to progress and do what they need to do to be able to be at their best.
No doubt. I loved his analogy on that. And, Coach Rule even said the other day, he goes, law of averages, you're going to need 2 quarterbacks during the season. He goes, not that you project an injury, but it's a physical sport. And, you're probably going to start 2 quarterbacks during a 12-game season just because of all those type of things. So if he doesn't win the job, doesn't mean he won't get significant snaps at some point in time during this football season. Love his attitude. He's easy to root for. He's a homegrown kid, so he kind of has that built into his game. And I think he's got a great attitude. I don't think he ever really thought, Jess, about leaving. I mean,
no.
It could have been pretty easy for him to go, you know what, they're bringing in Dylan, and let me just get out of here and go. I don't think that even probably crossed his mind. This is where he wants to be. This is where he wants to find success with his teammates.
Absolutely. And we've heard Coach Rule say time and time again, he is a good quarterback. We like him at quarterback, but also he has undeniable athleticism. And so there are certainly some things that you feel like you could utilize in his skill set, whether he's a starting quarterback or not. I mean, go back to the Minnesota game last year. He caught a pass. I mean, there's got to be some wrinkles, some things that you can do with him. And but yeah, he loves this place. He bleeds Husker red, and so yeah, he is one of those key kind of cornerstones of a program. No matter what role he's in, he's going to embrace it, and he understands what this coaching staff is looking for, and the standards and the culture and all of that, and is a big part of it. No matter what. But yeah, he's going to get some time. I think there's no doubt about it. And he's going to do whatever he can. And I think we'll embrace whatever role they ask of him.
Absolutely. All right, they're 16 minutes into action out at Hibner, and I understand we've got something on the scoreboard already out there, right?
Camden, you got an update?
Yeah, it's 2-0 Nebraska already in 15 minutes. Abby Schwartz has both goals.
Wow.
Both? Okay.
Both of them.
I think she's going to have a big year.
You've got her and you got Sarah Weber. You still may have kind of a two-headed monster from those forward positions to score. It's just not Eleanor Dale anymore. Well, that's a good start out there. So.
Yeah, I could all wait to see how the soccer team does. They're coming in, top 25 team and coming off the Elite 8 run. And, even without Eleanor Dale, we saw Sarah Weber has been consistent and has been just electric in scoring goals. And I think she was last year, too. It just so happened that Eleanor Dale was on our team. But a lot of that, and a lot of the players that I talked to just said over and over again, a lot of that was because they had 2 threats on the field with Sarah and Eleanor. Teams cannot stop both of them. And so I think now Abby Schwartz might move into that, where she's one of those really elite goal scorers that you cannot key in on one player moving forward. So hopefully that continues to open things up and they can keep racking up the goals. But I think they've got they've got some talent out there.
Great. All right, Camden, keep an eye on that for us as we fill out the rest of the hour. 402-413-2400, the number if you want to be a part of the program with a call or a text. When we come back, we'll go from the quarterback position to the running back position and hear from one of our faves, Emmett Johnson. That's next.
Attention! If you owe money to the IRS, this is an urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by sending out heart-stopping letters, aggressively garnishing paychecks, seizing bank accounts, and putting liens on homes and businesses. They call it enforced compliance, and you better watch out because penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily, making it seem impossible to ever get out of debt. Don't let the tax debt destroy your life. You need to call Optima Tax Relief, the #1 tax resolution firm. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks that the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands. Optima's resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, they'll fight to get you the best deal possible. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Did you get us switched over to shelter insurance?
Actually, I found a deal online.
You did. Does your deal come with award-winning customer service?
Oh, I'm not sure.
Does the deal include a local agent?
Doesn't actually say.
Can we create a customized plan that fits our needs? Let's just call the local shelter agent.
For insurance that fits just right, find a shelter agent near you.
See shelter agent Dory Milberger or Darren Frazier in Omaha or agent Terry Dingwell in Fremont.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian automotive vehicles in operations versus total new registrations for model years 2023 to 2022 as of December 2022.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
Other irrigation companies are finally discovering what T&L Irrigation is known for decades. Continuous movement is the best way to irrigate. While they'll have you pay for complicated upgrades to get steady, even water application with their high-voltage electric systems, all T&L Irrigation pivots and linears are propelled safely and smoothly by powerful hydrostatic drive. Continuous movement isn't new. It's the T&L standard. Don't get talked into a reinvented wheel. Pick the proven original. Call your T&L Irrigation dealer today or visit TLIRR.com. T&L, like no other.
Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center, sponsored by our good friends at Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody back with you here on a Monday night. On our text line, John said, question on practicing in the stadium. I work for the 49ers, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, and I understand not wanting to tear up grass for practices, but with current field turf, wouldn't it be beneficial to do more in-stadium practices for things like sight lines, wind conditions that coach seems to be pretty concerned about? That's a fair point, and they did last year, Jess, every Wednesday, Nebraska did practice in the stadium for a lot of those reasons. I lean kind of with John a little bit, too. I would want to practice on the place that I play, but it sounds like that's not really the case a lot of places around the country. So I think he thinks the benefits of playing on grass on game days, the wear and tear, the lack thereof on the body, supersedes the ability to practice once or twice during the week in the stadium.
Yeah, and they use you're saying that they practice on the natural grass practice field, right?
Instead of being in the stadium. Now, I think John's right. I mean, the wind in Memorial Stadium is different because it swirls around and there's cutouts of the stadium that make it different. But I think your kickers can go in there and deal with that, and that's the most important group that needs, I think, to learn about the wind of the stadium.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're in there a lot. They do go in there, and I see them in that stadium all the time. I feel like every time I'm walking by the stadium, they're in there. So they kick a lot in there, and so they got a feel for it, and all different kinds of when it's windy or whatever. And Coach Foley actually told me on the sideline the other day when we were talking about the weather, he's like, oh, no, I like it when it's hot. You get a chance to really get in shape and understand how these first few games it's going to be like that. So, yeah, they definitely, the kickers where it really, really makes a difference, they get out there and they utilize the stadium quite a bit.
Yeah, fair point, John. I'm glad you brought that up. And I've kind of thought the way John has about, I would think it'd be beneficial for your quarterbacks to get in there and throw, but I don't know that they'll do much of that. They'll let the kickers go in there because they won't mess it up. Man, remember when we were in Ireland, they did not let anybody put a foot on their turf over there in the stadium at Aviva Stadium, did they?
No, and it's almost like they had sensors because even when there was nobody around, if you stepped even like a foot past the ropes where they had it roped off, boy, there were people coming at you like, move off the field, move off the field. They were very, very protective of it. So
sure were.
Yeah.
Sure were. Beautiful, beautiful field. And Florida State's playing Boston College there later this month. And next year, it's two Midwest schools. K-State, Iowa State are going to play at Viva Stadium over in Ireland. Emmett Johnson is working his way to the #1 spot at running back. He was getting the 1 reps Saturday night at the 1890 practice. Last week, just got a chance to catch up with one of our favorite players, Emmett Johnson.
Well, we heard Coach Barthel say it a couple weeks ago. Immediately when you see it, you definitely put on some weight. Tell us about that process and what you felt like you needed to do to your body before you went into the season.
Yeah, I've put on, about like 10 pounds right now, and I would say that's due to my, hard work in the weight room, spending a lot of time with that, my nutrition. Chris and those guys do a good job of helping us with nutrition. And I feel like last season, being strong, I felt like I was a strong player. I felt like I was physical, but adding the 10 pounds is just going to make it a lot easier for me to run through tackles and bounce off of people. So I took that serious going into the offseason, and it's something that you'll see, help me in my play this year.
How do you balance that, putting on the weight, but then also maintaining the speed and agility that you do so well?
Yeah, I would definitely say it's tough. That first week when I got to about 200 pounds, I was, trying to get used to my weight a little bit. But now I would say just a lot of consistency in your training and making sure that, you're just going out there every single day and trying to give it your best effort because some days, it gets tough out there. But just working with the strength staff, working with the nutritionists, and, right now I feel like I'm in the best shape I've ever been in my life. So, yeah.
What is it about the strength staff? Because we keep hearing them be brought up again about the job that they've done with you guys. What is it about them that sets them apart, that it allows them to do what they do with you guys?
Yeah, I'll just say attention to detail. Coach Corey, he's big on that. We work extremely hard. If you ever come into one of our weight room sessions, you just see how, everybody's getting after it in the weight room. He's getting after us, pushing us to be better. I think just, everybody buying into what he's teaching us has helped us a lot in the weight room. And then on top of that, the mentality part of it. We do a lot of things in the weight room, but we work on our mental as well. So just getting us mentally tough and strong will help our team this year for sure.
Coach Rule just said that he told Coach Campbell he wanted a tough football team. Do you think this football team's going into fall camp a tough football team?
I would definitely say this is the toughest team I've been around. I've only been here for a couple of years, but this is the toughest team for sure I've been around mentally and both physically.
You took on a huge role last year at the end of the season. Once you close the chapter on that and you evaluate that and you go through spring and summer and going into the season, where were some of the things you felt like, okay, this is where I need to improve? These are some of the things I did well, but just, I guess, your big takeaways from last season.
I would definitely say everything, but like the biggest thing for me, I was saying, is just getting 10 pounds stronger. I felt like I had some great runs last year, but I feel like my ceiling's really high. I feel like I have a lot more to prove. Last year was, for me, I would say decent, but I think I got a lot more to show. And I took important detail in my offseason when it came to like running back stuff, and I spent extra time working on my footwork, agility, and this year I'm just trying to be explosive, and every time that I touch the football, I'm trying to be explosive with it and just get as many yards as possible on every touch.
So going into this fall camp, what's your approach? How do you feel differently? What are you trying to do day in and day out?
Just be consistent. That's the most important for me. I want my film on day 1 of camp to look the same as my film on day 10. I just want to go out there every day and just, show no weakness, but most importantly, just get better every single day. And just be really consistent. That's my biggest thing going into off season. A lot of guys, when it's day 10, 11, they start to get mentally drained and with the whole process. But I just want to be consistent through, my eating, my, working out, my faith, my meditation, which I just recently started. Just being consistent with that, and everything else will take care of itself.
Why was that an important thing to add for you?
So I've been working with a guy named Troy Bell, who I'm friends with back home, and the meditation aspect is extremely important. I've been big on faith, but it's just something that I've added recently. It's something I was doing naturally before, but now, I've been trying to learn more and more about it, and so it's something that, I delete my social media during this time of the year, so meditation and my faith is going to get me, through fall camp, so I've been taking steps with that, and I'm just going to continue to grow with it.
I love that. We've been talking about, just the strength and the speed and the, I guess, those kinds of things for a football team, but just coming together as a group and the culture and all that, the brotherhood, how has that progressed from January till now when you're taking the field for fall camp? Yeah,
I would say that's really progressed. A lot of the freshmen that came in early, and even the freshmen came in now, I feel like this is the closest we've been as a team. Everybody's buying into the same thing. And I feel like once you have a lot of guys who are competitive and want to win, they're all going to buy into it. So I say we've grown, even with the defense and the offense, it's not really like a big separation. We're all cool with each other. We all, make each other better. And especially on the football field, I want to know what the defense is doing. So, getting close with those guys, learning about what they do on their, on their reads, what they do on their, trying to get to the running back, just little stuff like that. Will help me as well. So I've just been trying to learn as much as I can about the defense, so it helps us. But our brotherhood is great, man. I love it here. Everybody's close. Nobody's, shy to talk to anybody. Like the older guys that took the younger guys in, and it's going to take us a long way.
The running back room as a whole, it takes everybody, right? It's going to take everybody to get through a Big Ten season. Overall, how do you feel about the group going into fall camp?
Yeah, I'll say we got a special group, guys that can do a little bit of everything. There's Gabe and Ramir who's coming off injury. I know those guys are hungry. Coming off injury, so they're looking forward to having a big camp as well. Dante, a new guy that just came in, physical runner. He's been working really hard in the weight room as well. So we have a really special group, and as far as me, I just really have a lot of confidence in myself and my ability. I'm just going to go out there and try to perform and do my best.
It takes one guy might be running the touchdown and whatever, you guys have to block and do all these little things. So as a group, how do you guys go into the fall camp? What are the goals that you guys want to make sure that you accomplish day in and day out as a running back group?
Yeah, just practicing with detail, just focusing on one thing that we can get better on every day, and just letting our presence be known every time we step on the football field. Coach EJ always talks about it. Everybody has a standard for running backs, but we have our own standard, and we got to play to that every single day on the field.
Excited to have Ramir back out there with you?
Yes, sir. That's my brother, man. Brother from another mother. So Johnson & Johnson coming soon.
Appreciate your time, Emmett. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Greg, after that interview, he was like, man, thanks for bringing up Ramir. That made me so happy. They've got a cool bond, and just overall, that room. And we see it across the football team. You're competing and you want to have the carries, but yet they're just so supportive and embrace one another, and they compete, but they also cheer on each other's success. So that's a cool, vibe to have within that room. But he's so smart, and he understands so much of the other things that go along with it. After the season, he's like, okay, this is where I need to get better. And he was just so meticulous about it. But we've said it time and time again. He's one of our favorites here on the Huskers Radio Network, and I just am hoping for really big things for Emmett Johnson.
Sure made progress last year. He got better as that year went along and turned himself into a quality Big Ten back. So now I think in his mind, Jess, he knows he can do it. And that is a big hurdle to get over, because then you don't think about, do I belong? You know you belong, and you start making bigger and bigger plays. So looking forward to him. All right, Camden, do we have an update from Hibner? We still at 2-0?
Still 2-0, almost
Okay.
30 minutes into it. So good and bad, I guess. They're still up 2 and haven't allowed a goal, but they haven't added on.
What's the
Very good.
temperature right now?
It's got to be mid-90s at this point, I would think. Hang on, I'll get you one. It is 94.
Wow.
So how about that? It is a scorcher out there. Tim in Minnesota on our text line said, your conversation about Weber and Schwartz in Husker soccer reminds me of Sue and Crick on our 2009 defensive line. Keen on one opens up the opportunities for the other. Good point. We believe we're going to talk to Ndamukong later this week, one of the newest members to the Husker Athletic Hall of Fame. He's eluded us to this point in time, but we think we're going to nail him down later in this week. Tim, always great to hear from you. Keep those texts coming, 402-413-2400. Back with more of the show coming up.
It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event at your Midwest Ford dealers. Get 0% financing or up to $4,250 bonus cash on F-150. Amazing offers and a great selection of the best-selling trucks in America for 47 years. Ford F-Series. These are the deals you've been waiting for, so don't wait. Make it Ford. Make it yours. Make it now. Get 0% financing for 36 months or up to $4,250 bonus cash on a new Ford F-150. Now, only at your Midwest Ford dealers.
From the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, I'm broadcasting major Macy Byers with Campus News. Computer science student Luke Ferreter won a global competition for being the first to decode passages from an ancient scroll. Using advanced AI, Ferreter became the first in centuries to reveal words from a Greek scroll damaged in the eruption of Mount Vesuvius nearly 2,000 years ago. The Lincoln native earned a $700,000 cash prize and international recognition for his achievements.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Noddle Companies is proud to support Husker Athletics. As a leader in commercial real estate, we create thriving communities. Discover what's new in the Builders District in North Downtown, Sunnyside Exarban, and Row House Townhomes on Leavenworth. Noddle Companies is adding Omaha's first hybrid timber building to the skyline. Soon to follow is Builders Green Park, surrounded by mouth-watering food, exciting retail, and a hub of thriving businesses. Noddle Companies, building a better Nebraska. For more information, check us out on Facebook and Instagram. Go Huskers!
Dear Truckin' Awesome. Want more horsepower in the stable? The Tundra iForce Max is the most powerful Tundra ever. With its electrifying twin-turbo V6, you got everything you need. Saddle up the Tacoma TRD Pro. Its segment-first performance seats are designed to smooth out the shocks when the ride gets bumpy. The Toyota 4Runner is part mean streak, part wild side, and an all-around icon. Check out that signature power rear window, will ya? Yes, sir, Toyota trucks. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
See your Omaha Metro and Lincoln Toyota dealers. Corwin Toyota of Bellevue, Village Point Toyota of Omaha, Baxter Toyota of La Vista, or Baxter Toyota of Lincoln.
This year, we considered hiring an ad agency to help with our marketing.
They pitched impressive visuals and a script that was inspiring.
And exotic animal mascots to help grab your attention.
In the end, we just decided to tell it to you straight. Shelter Insurance has award-winning customer service at affordable rates.
Plus, our local agents are there to help you understand what coverage you need.
See Shelter Agent Sharon Lear in Papillion, Paul Hoos in Grand Island, or an Ord C Agent Matt Woodward.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, Our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Well, our Huskers Radio Network Broadcast Center is sponsored by Akrs, the Midwest premier John Deere dealer, supplying the equipment and service to advance agriculture and much more. Akrs, solutions for every field. Greg Sharpe, Jessica Coody with you here on a Monday night. Huskers into practice. Volleyball started practice today. Husker soccer playing at Hinrich. I saw a picture of the grandstands. There's a good little crowd out there watching Husker soccer tonight in 94-degree heat. So that is just amazing. Husker Nation just continues to amaze. Speaking of amazing, Jess, did you catch the 100-meter men's final last night on the track?
Oh, my goodness. What a moment. That was incredible. I actually like Noah Lyles. I know he's got a big personality, and shoot, he's a fan favorite for a reason, the way he enters the stadium. But, he's going for the double-double, which is rare, and he had not run very well, or hadn't been, had been beat in the qualifying races in the quarterfinals and in the heats leading up to the final. And he's got that closing speed. So I'm like, oh gosh, he's not going to do it. And then he ends up getting there. And the fact that it came down to literally a photo finish, and, it looked like that the guy from Jamaica had it won, but they go by the clavicle, as pointed out by Mike Tirico. And so Noah leaned in just at the right moment. And, if he would have had another foot or whatever, he would have won it outright easily. But photo finish, you can't ask for anything more. What a race.
Well, 1 through 8, there was not much separation from 1 through 8. The guy that finished last was only about maybe a yard and a half back of that whole thing. And the NBC guy is getting just beat up on social media because he really proclaimed the Jamaican guy the win. I'll be honest, watching it live, my eyes were drawn to the Jamaican as well. I thought that's probably where it was. I really didn't notice Noah. I think he was down in lane 7.
Yeah.
But then when you went back frame by frame, you're like, yep, by golly, he's right there. And he's got the chest out at the perfect moment to get the lean.
Well, because he didn't get out to a great start, and then so you're watching the two. It was one of the other Americans. I think was it Fred Curley? Who was it that was right beside him? Which one?
Fred Curley.
Yeah. So he's right beside. So it looked like it was those two, and they were quite a bit ahead to start. But then here comes Noah to end up closing it out, and it's almost like the viewer is almost like the broadcasters were just fixated on that 1-2 battle instead of watching where Noah was coming on that lane 7.
Yeah. Well, the U.S. has really opened up on the medal count. 78 medals now for the United States. China's in second at 53, so a 25 medal gap. Big weekend for the U.S. Golds, China still leads by 1 over the United States, 21-20, but the U.S. has come up. As we kind of said last week, wait till we get to track. I said the U.S. will start really getting a lot of medals and golds in track and field. I know we won the men's shot. We've won a couple of relays already.
Women's discus, I believe they won today.
Right.
Yeah.
And we've got some of the Husker women will start competing here this week, right? Axelina is sometime this week with the women's shot.
Yeah, and the javelin as well. And kudos to Till Steinforth. I mean, he ends up finishing pretty good for his first time on that stage and being an alternate and last minute having to fly in. And after the first day, he was right there among some of the leaders. And then, what did he end up finishing? Was it
15th?
Yeah, which is great. I mean, the best of the best, and that's, you heard him saying a lot, like decathlon is the best Olympic event, and I know that people are biased that are on the call of that, but the fact that he's able to finish top 15, I mean, great for him. We heard them talking last week about how he's the best to ever do it here. So, and I think we're going to get to see him next spring for at least the outdoor season if he comes back. He did redshirt, so unless something changes there, so it was incredible to watch him get to do that. He was pretty fired up when they called him out there for one of those last races, one of those last events. You could tell he was trying to embrace the moment, which was, I know, one of the things that Dusty had really challenged him to do. Hey, try to take it in because it is an awesome moment.
He forever can say, I'm an Olympian.
Yeah.
I mean, they can never take that away. He has now competed in an Olympic Games. So awesome for him. Basketball still continues. Australia's still in there, so Jack McVeigh is still going on as well. And you and I watch quite a bit of golf. What a final round for Scottie Scheffler of 62 to roar from behind. How about this? He's in the 12th fairway, and he is 6 shots behind Jon Rahm. And he ends up beating Jon Rahm by 4. Jon Rahm kind of imploded.
Yeah, he did.
But my goodness, what a flip by Scottie Scheffler. What an amazing golfer.
It was heartbreaking, though, to hear Jon Rahm's interview after. And
oh, boy.
It was sad. And, it was my brother. My brother and I were texting back and forth, and he goes, Scottie, what did he end up shooting, a 62?
62.
Yeah, Scottie just quietly shot a 62, and I feel like it was because the broadcast just was honing in on the complete, basically, meltdown from Jon Rahm and even Tommy Fleetwood. They just stayed on that group so much that it was not until Scottie took the lead at like 17 or 16 did we start seeing much more of Scottie. Like, hey, here's the leader. He's got it won. So it was almost like we were just watching the meltdown as opposed to watching who was coming from behind. But it was so funny, too, Greg, because if you watch all the other sports and they show the medal ceremonies, all the athletes know what to do. They know how to go about getting on the podium, and they take the selfie and how to hold up the medals. And the golfers look like they did not really know what was going on. And, I know a lot during the broadcast, they had talked about how because there's so much money involved in golf nowadays, the purses are so big that this was such a different tournament because it isn't about the money. It's for a different feeling, a different kind of win. And so it took a minute for the golfers to really embrace this event. But now that it's starting to catch the momentum and seeing the crowds out there, you could tell it felt a little bit different this time around than it did the last Olympics.
Scottie Scheffler was in tears when they were playing the national anthem. That was really cool to see. I would like to see a bit of a team format. I don't know if it needs to be a complete Ryder Cup. Maybe it's a mixed event where you have a male partner with a female golfer from that country. I think you could do that. I mean, we see these guys play stroke play after stroke play after stroke play every week. I think I'd like to see a little bit, maybe more of a team concept to the Olympics. But that's just me.
Yeah, could you just do like 2 rounds and then do 2 other events? Like, I don't know, hand out 2 different medals or 3 different medals for golf.
I agree.
Do like a 4-ball, a scramble with a mixed scramble, and then 1 round of stroke play or something like that.
The women's stroke play is this weekend, so they'll have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday this weekend over there in Paris. I need to work our final break, and we're back with everybody's weekend winners. We'll do that next.
When you're in the stands and have the ability to control your irrigation in the field, it's a game-changing moment. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Experience real-time, play-by-play action and control that keeps you ahead. Score big with irrigation technology from Valley. It's technology that improves your life and lets you be at the game and in the game. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
Husker fans, get ready for another thrilling season at Hibner Stadium with the reigning Big Ten champion Nebraska soccer team. Season tickets for the 2024 season are on sale now. Don't miss your chance to support the Huskers as they go head-to-head with some of the top teams in the country, including Oklahoma State, Penn State, and Duke. Get your tickets today at huskers.com/tickets or call 1-800-8-BIG-RED.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraska-chiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
Woodhouse Auto Family, your trusted auto partner. They've got 20 brands, 20 convenient sales and service locations. We're making car buying on your terms. Go visit us online at woodhouse.com. Back with our final segment of our Monday show. We'll have a practice report for you tomorrow night. We're going to hear from Terrence Knighton and John Butler, the new defensive backs coach, tomorrow. They'll meet with the media after the practice for the Big Red. Well, time now for this week's weekend winners. Let's start with Camden tonight. Camden, what do you have on your list?
Yeah, so we kind of talked about this last segment, but I'm giving it to Noah Lyles as my weekend winner. He kind of had a lot of pressure on him after, I know he was making fun of the NBA for saying they were world champions, like, when their team wins. And obviously, having all that pressure from the NBA, being able to pull it out and be the fastest man in the world was cool for him. And then obviously the way he did it, kind of coming from behind in that race as well, was pretty cool.
Cool. Do you have a soccer update for you? Are they at the half?
Not quite at the half yet, but they're up 4-0 now.
Ooh, my goodness.
Sarah Weber scored the third goal, and then Florence Belzeal added the fourth one.
Nice. All right. Well, they're rocking on the Ruse out there tonight at Hibner Stadium. Okay, Jess.
We just talked about it, but I had it on my list. Scotty Scheffler and winning gold in the golf stroke play. And just the way that when he stands up there on the podium, he's got the gold medal around his neck and makes it through almost the complete national anthem and then really becomes overcome with emotion. And he talked about Simone Biles and some of the great Olympians and being there and just really, I just think with golf and how it is, you can kind of be in your own world and there's so much money and then it's just, this is a completely different kind of tournament and he had his baby there and his wife and it just was such a moment and to see it mean so much to him to be able to win that gold where there isn't a lot of money attached to it this time around and representing his country. I was crying. Honestly, I started crying when he started crying just because it just how much it meant to him. I can't tell you, I'm a little bit embarrassed how many times, like with Katie Ledecky, when she won gold and she pulled up the bronze medalist from that 1,500-meter swim, I think it was a 1,500, and the bronze girl, I forgot her name, started crying. I started crying there. It's like when the Americans become emotional when they win those medals, I seem to tear up, but I certainly did with Scotty. What a moment.
Yeah, it's a great moment. It's why we love the Olympics so much because there is so much emotion involved in the Olympics, good and bad. I mean, you see the emotion of a bad thing like Caleb Dressel. He completely fell apart when he did not make the finals in an event that he's got the world record holder in. So you see both of those. All right, I'm going to give a quick tip of the cap to Matt Waldron. Won his 7th game of the year for the Padres yesterday, but my weekend winner is Bud Crawford, the Omaha product, 41-0 now as he had a tightly contested unanimous decision Saturday night over Israel Madrimov. It was a good fight by all accounts, but he remains undefeated. You were asking Jess how old he is. He's now he's 37 years old, so he's in the twilight of his career, but what a career. ESPN's got him listed right now as the number 2 pound-for-pound fighter in the world. I think at one time he was number 1, but congrats to Bud. Keeps it going. They fought that out in SoFi Stadium out in Los Angeles on Saturday night. What a show, huh? What a good show.
This flew by. What a fun 2 hours. Time flies when you're having fun. This is a great show.
Good stuff. Thanks, everybody. Thanks to Camden for steering the ship. We'll do it all again tomorrow night. Enjoy your Monday night.
Hit us up on the text line. Text 402-413-2400 with your Husker thoughts.
Woodhouse has been your premier destination for your automotive needs since 1975. Whether you're looking to purchase a new vehicle, sell your current one, or looking to service, our team ensures a convenient and seamless transaction from start to finish. Explore our wide selection of top brands and enjoy the peace of mind that comes with our team's dedication and decades of trusted service. Get started online at woodhouse.com and experience the Woodhouse difference today.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your foundation and damaging your home. Cracks in walls and uneven floors are just a few signs your foundation is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns. A free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
On game day, every play counts. Now imagine having the same level of control in your field. Valley is where farming meets end zone efficiency. With AgSense remote irrigation technology, farmers become the MVPs of their fields. Real-time, play-by-play control means you're always ahead of the game. Score big with simplified irrigation technology from Valley, improving your life both on and off the field. Find your local Valley dealer at valleyirrigation.com.
If you're driven by an adventurous heart, you're in luck. The 2024 Subaru Outback shares your spirit. It will take you as far as you want to explore with standard symmetrical all-wheel drive and up to 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Plus, 96% of Outback vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road today. The 2024 Subaru Outback. Go where love takes you. Longevity based on Experian automotive vehicles in operation